Before we dive in, let me know in the comments where you're watching from today, and if you enjoy stories like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Have you ever had someone try to boss you around when they had no idea who you really were? Let me know in the comments if you've experienced something like this. It was just another quiet Saturday afternoon at my new home in Oakwood Estates. I had moved in just 3 weeks ago and was still getting used to the neighborhood. My faithful companion, Rex, a gorgeous German shepherd with a calm temperament, was enjoying the warm sunshine stretched out on my front porch. After our morning jog, he deserved the rest. I was inside unpacking boxes when I heard a sharp knock at my door. Opening it, I found a woman with perfectly highlighted hair, designer sunglasses perched on her head, and a scowl that could curdle milk. She didn't even wait for me to speak. "Excuse me," she said, with a voice dripping with fake sweetness, "but large dogs are not allowed to roam freely in this neighborhood." She pointed dramatically at Rex, who hadn't even lifted his head at her arrival. "That animal needs to be inside, or at a proper kennel, not out here scaring people." I tried to explain calmly. "Ma'am, Rex isn't roaming. He's resting on my private property, and he's extremely well trained." She cut me off with a wave of her French manicured hand. "I don't care how trained you think he is. I'm Patricia Winters, the president of the Homeowners Association, and I know every rule in our community guidelines." She pulled out her phone. "You have 5 minutes to remove that animal before I call animal control." I sighed, already tired of this conversation. "Patricia, I appreciate your concern, but Rex isn't breaking any rules. He's not aggressive, not making noise, and he's on my property." Patricia's face turned an interesting shade of red. "You newcomers are all the same, thinking you can just ignore our established community standards. I've lived here for 15 years, and I've never seen such blatant disregard." As she continued her rant, I noticed 2 police cruisers pull up across the street at my neighbor's house. They were there for a scheduled community meet and greet that had been planned weeks ago. Officer Rodriguez and Officer Chen were stepping out, chatting casually as they prepared to meet the residents. Patricia followed my gaze and apparently misinterpreted my small smile. "Oh, you think this is funny? We'll see who's laughing when I call 911 right now." She started furiously tapping at her phone. "Ma'am, I really don't think that's necessary," I started, but she was already speaking loudly into her phone. "Yes, emergency. There's a dangerous dog at 487 Oakwood Drive threatening the neighborhood." Patricia exaggerated, while Rex continued his peaceful nap, completely oblivious to her theatrics. I folded my arms and leaned against my door frame. "Patricia, you might want to reconsider what you're doing right now. Don't you dare threaten me," she hissed, covering the phone. "I know my rights." The dispatcher must have asked for more details, because Patricia continued, "It's a huge German shepherd, just lying there, waiting to attack innocent passers-by. The owner refuses to control it." Rex finally lifted his head at the commotion, yawned widely, then laid his head back down on his paws. "Ma'am, I tried again. You really should know." "No." Patricia cut me off. "The officers need to come immediately. This is a serious threat to our community safety." I noticed Officer Rodriguez glancing our way, clearly having overheard Patricia's loud voice. He said something to Officer Chen, and they both started walking toward my house. Patricia noticed them too and smiled triumphantly. "See, the police are already responding. You're in big trouble now." I just nodded. Yes, they certainly are responding. As the officers approached, Patricia stepped forward eagerly. "Officers, I'm so glad you're here. This irresponsible new resident has a dangerous animal that needs to be removed immediately." Officer Rodriguez looked at Rex, then at me, and an expression of recognition crossed his face. "Ma'am, is this the dangerous animal you're referring to?" he asked Patricia. "Yes, look at the size of it. It could attack a child," Patricia insisted. Officer Chen stepped forward. "Ma'am, did you just call 911 about this dog?" Patricia nodded vigorously. "I did. Someone needs to enforce the rules around here." I cleared my throat. "Officers, I was going to introduce myself properly at the community meet and greet today, but I guess now is as good a time as any." I reached into my pocket and pulled out my badge. "I'm Detective Michael Reeves, recently transferred to your K9 unit. And this dangerous animal is Rex, my police service dog and partner for the last 5 years." Patricia's mouth dropped open. Officer Rodriguez smiled. "Detective Reeves, we've been looking forward to meeting you. Chief Williams speaks very highly of you and Rex. The transfer paperwork just came through yesterday," I explained. "Rex and I were planning to come to the meet and greet after he had his rest. He had a long training session this morning." Patricia stood frozen, her face now pale instead of red. "You're a police officer, and that's a police dog?" "K9 officer, yes," I confirmed. "Rex is a certified police service animal, trained in search and rescue, suspect apprehension, and evidence detection." Officer Chen turned to Patricia. "Ma'am, did you realize you just made a false 911 call? That's a misdemeanor offense." Patricia stammered. "I didn't know. How was I supposed to know?" "Perhaps by asking questions before making assumptions," Officer Rodriguez suggested. "Or by checking with the HOA board about new residents. Speaking of which," I added, "I received written approval from your HOA board last month specifically addressing Rex's residency here. It should be in your records, Patricia, since you signed it." Her eyes widened with recognition. "Reeves, the application with the service animal documentation. I remember now." She looked utterly mortified. "Ma'am," Officer Chen said firmly, "we take false emergency calls very seriously. They divert resources from genuine emergencies and put lives at risk." Patricia's whole demeanor had changed. "I'm so sorry, officers. And Detective Reeves, I had no idea. Please don't press charges." Officer Rodriguez pulled out a notepad. "We'll have to file a report about the false 911 call, but since no emergency services were actually diverted, we can handle this with a formal warning this time." I knelt down and called Rex over. He trotted to my side immediately, alert and dignified. "Rex, say hello to our neighbors." On command, Rex sat perfectly still and extended his paw politely. Officer Chen laughed and shook it. Patricia looked at the perfectly behaved police dog, and then back at me, clearly struggling to find words. "Miss Winters," I said calmly, "I understand you're concerned about neighborhood safety. That's something we have in common. How about we start over? I'd be happy to attend your next HOA meeting and discuss home security tips for the community." The officers finished writing up their report and had Patricia sign an acknowledgement of her warning. As they prepared to leave, Rex trotted back to his sunny spot on the porch and settled down again. Patricia hesitated before leaving. "Detective, I really am sorry. I jumped to conclusions." I nodded. "We all make mistakes, Patricia. Just remember, things aren't always what they seem at first glance." She nodded shamefully and walked away, her confident stride now more of a retreat. Officer Rodriguez grinned at me. "Welcome to the neighborhood, Detective Reeves. Looks like you're already making an impression. Later that afternoon, Rex and I attended the community meet and greet as planned. Word had already spread about the incident with Patricia, and neighbors kept coming up to meet the new K9 officer and his partner. Rex was a hit with the children, showing off some of his gentler tricks. Patricia kept her distance, watching from across the street. But by the end of the event, she had approached again, this time with a small gift bag. "A welcome to the neighborhood present," she said stiffly, handing it to me. Inside was a fancy dog bone from the boutique pet store in town. Rex accepted his gift with princely grace, and I accepted her olive branch with a nod. Sometimes the people who judge the quickest learn the hardest lessons, and sometimes those who appear to be ordinary newcomers turn out to be exactly who the neighborhood needed all along.